aspects. I mean, we just came after eclipse season, right? And we had a lot of other things happening. Mars conjuncting Saturn. There was so many things that has, and Mercury retrograde. Sure, that's definitely going to have an impact. Oh, can you hear the church bells in the background? And Mercury retrograde has been pretty significant. I think that who's feeling Mercury retrograde? And I mean, oh my goodness, it's one of those. I don't know how many phone calls I've been on or Zoom calls where the Wi-Fi went out or the phone just stopped working or but it's been, and so it's kind of like with Mercury retrograde and a couple other aspects. It's almost like any of those like action movies where people are, I don't know, the hero is like trying to get somewhere, but there's all this wind blowing in his direction. He's like, that's what the energies kind of feel like now. But everything's going to start changing very soon. We have that full moon coming up very soon. In a few days, we have Mercury finally going direct, and so you'll see a lot of shifts, a lot of things. Just, I wouldn't really say getting back to normal, but getting better, getting better, because a lot of people are being moved into different areas of their lives right now. Everyone is, pretty much everyone is. There's a lot of big shifts happening. But we and yeah, and then we had the Jupiter Uranus conjunction yesterday. I don't know if anything happened. And remember, I said, like, that's just the chart. That's the peak day. That's the day that they're conjuncted. It hasn't happened in a really long time. And you'll see. Remember, I think I said, doing your videos during Mercury retrograde. I'm sure it's happened with any other reader out there. If you watch other readers too, it's like there's a lot that I forgot to mention in this video. I forgot to mention in that video, but this conjunction, you're gonna see it play out. So if there's, I'm curious if anyone had anything happen yesterday on the day. I had, so for me, and it depends on your chart. Every sign is affected differently, but even every person within any sign is affected differently based on your chart, right? So, interestingly enough, I have my Chiron in Taurus in my 12th house. And so it was really interesting because yesterday I had this huge breakthrough about something that I had to do that I didn't really commit to. I was on the fence for a while, but then it was yesterday. It's like, oh, I have to do this, and that's gonna change everything for me. But I also I did receive news from two different people about, and they came out of nowhere. So, interesting to see how those are gonna roll out for the next few weeks. But we have so many Jupiter conjunctions and Uranus conjunctions, all in Taurus, like throughout this. Like you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. So, if anyone, hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Maha. Yes, happy birthday to all Tauruses right now. Oh my goodness, that's right. We're in Taurus season, and then you're gonna have so many great aspects. Tauruses are gonna have so many great aspects in May. It's unbelievable. Good morning, Sally, Carla, Cheryl, Amy. Oh, from the UK, love it. Jen Marie, y'all, thanks so much for being here. Is there anyone? Cheryl, wait, Jen Marie, you said you realized your dad was born under the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. Oh, wow. During the moon landing. Oh, that's so cool. With the aliens. That's awesome. So, yes, it's things will start playing out. And again, you're gonna start feeling the energies of it. If you haven't already, like I already feel it, but it really depends on where it is in your chart, how and the houses that it falls in. But there's a lot happening in May. There's a lot happening in May. But just know, yeah, May is definitely going to be a month where things are, you're going to feel it is the best and luckiest month of 2024. And so I do explain that. I'm so close to finishing your readings again. They're very long. There's so much happening in May. I don't even know where to begin. But that is the best, luckiest month of the year. And not only does it have there's two aspects that are happening in May. One that happens every year, okay? And this is always the best, luckiest day of the year, and that's when the sun conjuncts Jupiter, okay? That's happening in May. And I talk about this more in your readings. And again, your readings, oh, and I talk really fast in your readings, okay? Now, I found out that there's a button or something that you can slow down if it's too fast for you, the speed of the video. Okay, so if I am talking way too fast, but there was just way too much to cover, and even talking fast, the readings were running up to an hour. So we'll obviously break most of the bigger aspects down, and even like all the smaller aspects in May. But May is a big month. Actually, before I talk about Jupiter, the Sun conjunct Jupiter, coming after Uranus conjunct Jupiter, um, we have so many big transits. So we officially move into Gemini season. We are Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, good luck, prosperity, belief, wisdom, expansion is moving into Jupiter. So for the first, moving into Gemini. Hello, Mercury retrograde. Moving into Gemini for the first time in 12 years, y'all. The first time in 12 years. So this is really, really big. This is a really big deal. Everyone's going to feel this shift, but Geminis, you're going to feel the most luck. I mean, you're the celestial favorite for the year, and it is for a year. Okay, so we're talking calendar year, not just until the end of the month or end of the year. So from May 25th, is it the 25th? May 25th to June 2025. And so every sign is going to feel a shift around that time. And this is doubly so, triply so too, because not only is Jupiter moving into Gemini, it happens right after we move to Gemini season. So the sun in Gemini and then Venus moving into Gemini. So the two benefic planets joining the sun, which is amazing. So you may feel like a really big shift. And, all this Gemini energy, Gemini is, you could be traveling a lot. Communication, maybe the biggest thing of all. Being very social. Gemini is such a social sign in general. It's and a lot of curiosity. I talk about that in your readings. You're gonna be wanting to do new things. You're gonna want to explore new things. It's really nice. And Jupiter is detriment in Gemini. It's not, a bad thing. It's just like Jupiter is like belief and wisdom, and Gemini is Mercury ruled, right? So a little bit more logic. And so, but it's still it's going to be so different, after coming out of like Taurus season, Jupiter being in Taurus, which is very earthbound. So a lot of y'all are just going to feel very creative. I mean, just all this Gemini energy is going to be, you're definitely going to feel a shift. All right. I'm trying to say things without repeating things that your readings for May 2024, I'll post on Wednesday. But yeah, good morning, Jean. We're just talking about Geminis. So okay, let me hey, there you go. That's good that you read. Okay. Family environment started a new phase. Yeah, I mean, these conjunctions, I always say use it. You always want to take action, even if things are happening. You want to have a little bit of control, right, in terms of the direction where you want to go. So it really is taking a lot of action and putting your energy. I always talk about energy. Energy makes the biggest difference. Just and that takes being in touch with your intuition, putting that energy out there, and so not being trapped in these low energy frequencies where and I talk about this as much as I can energy is the biggest thing, right? It is, we're all made of energy, and you always want to vibrate at a really high frequency. I try to repeat this as much as I can, because I still get comments that are just like, oh, well, nothing happened for me, nothing happens for me. But when you put that energy out there, nothing will, because you're not allowing it. You've put yourself in this frequency where you're just like, okay, I now believe nothing is happening for me. So you got to go beyond that, and you have to but you also have to really just take that action to really increase, and when I say like high energy, like high frequency, just, just think about like the laws of attraction, gratitude, things like that, but also being receptive to changes happening in your life and taking that action for changes. And a really great example is what I was just telling you about earlier. One thing that I was doing was I'm I'm in a place right now where I have to make a decision about something, and everything down to my like very soul is telling me, okay, I got to do this. But that, analytical me, being not only double air sign but Virgo moon, me just constant, and my Mercury opposing my I mean, like, just so much in my just that part of me is like, okay, well, I got to wait for the right time, I got to wait for the right time. And so that is sucking all the it's been sucking all the energy out of me, because I know that intuitively, spiritually, I have to do what I know that I have to do. But there's this part of me that's staying stuck here because I want to make sure that the timing's really right. But in any case, that I'm not gonna go on and on about that. Let's break it down. So yeah, so we're gonna see a big shift in May, and the reason why you'll hear everyone saying May is the most prosperous month, most abundant month, most the best month, the luckiest month, is because, as I said, Sun conjuncting Jupiter. That will happen on May 18th, and that will also be in Taurus. Okay, so it's gonna be, and so the Sun conjuncting Jupiter, it does happen every year. So it's a day that you want to look forward to every year, and there's a different sign every year. And so it's definitely going to be a little bit more amplified this year. And the reason why is because the same day, Venus will conjunct Uranus. And so we have this enormously like major, I mean, that, and again, in your readings, I say, like, just the fact that we have Venus conjuncting Uranus that same day. So you see, we have the Sun conjuncting Jupiter, we have Venus conjuncting Uranus, both coming just weeks after Jupiter conjuncted Uranus. So when I say you're still going to be feeling that energy, you're still going to be feeling that energy, okay? And they're all in Taurus, but this is Venus conjuncting Uranus is yeah, sure, you could make this is Venus, so you could if you're single, like, meet your soulmate out of nowhere, because Uranus is all about surprises and the unexpected. Venus is also money, so there could, yeah, you could have some money moments this month, lucky money moments, and a lot of aspects that have to do with money this month as well. And so it's just a great month. Okay, so that is the luckiest day of May, but it's also the luckiest day of the year of 2024. Now, the other thing is, that's not all. We have Venus conjuncting Jupiter as well, and that's going to happen on May 23rd. And Venus conjuncting Jupiter, hello, that's the two benefic planets getting together. These are the planets that are, they get together to do something wonderful for you, to, really benefit you in whatever way. I mean, this is, again, the planet of love, relationships, money, creativity, beauty, right? Meeting up with Jupiter, the planet that expands, the planet that is all about wisdom and faith and good luck and prosperity. So absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And then we also have, a lot of these great Pluto trines. And so it's gonna be a very auspicious month, because the other thing is, we do only, out of the entire month, with and there's like 20, 25 major aspects, and transits that's happening in May, out of all of them, there's only one square. Only one. Only one. I mean, come on. That is huge. That's really, really big. We're actually kicking it off. If you saw your April forecast, this week we do have what day will that be? Let me find it. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, the 30th. Okay, so the 30th. So we have that Venus square Pluto. Okay, um, so you're moving into it with Venus squaring Pluto, and that's just a little bit of a squeeze. But then Mercury will square Pluto, and that is the only square that we have in May, and that's going to be. Oh, what day is that? Friday, May 17th. Okay, and so that's just a time where you could, it's a time where you could feel there's going to be some moments. Pluto, with Pluto this month, um, Pluto is going retrograde, so it's the first outer planet to go retrograde this year, and and so that just kind of softens the intensity a bit with these retrogrades. You really want to do that reflecting, and you're going to find yourself doing it. You're going to find yourself really, really going inward in terms of like your own personal power, a lot of empowerment, but inner transformation. I want you to think about regeneration. That is going to be the key word. That really just like this new you, this rebirth even. So it's going to feel really, really nice. And Pluto does also rule other shared resources, so a lot of y'all could have money moments throughout the month. There's so many Pluto aspects this month. Okay, but the only square is May 17th, and that would be Mercury squaring Pluto. Remember, Mercury's communication, Mercury and Pluto, Pluto, Mercury's going to be in Taurus at this point. So Mercury's actually leaving Aries, moving into Taurus. Mercury's going to be in Taurus, and then Pluto obviously is in Aquarius. So two fixed signs. So yeah, there could be a little bit of around the 17th. So that's just one of those days where I say, be cool. You'll be fine. You stay cool, you'll be cool, because it's Mercury. So you could have like with squaring Pluto, there could be some someone that wants to have a little power trip or whatnot. And it really is a time where you may even find yourself being in a conversation that might be a little intense with Pluto being there. But the other thing is it's Mercury squaring Pluto, so you could just be doing a lot of really deep thinking at this point, especially coming after all these changes that are happening for you. I mean, we have the Sun conjuncting Uranus on May. I mean, there's so many days. I didn't even know how to start with these. So I wanted to get the one challenging day out of the way. All right, and then the big ones. So May 18th is the big one. Okay, we have uh uh the best luckiest day of the year, that happens to be in May, and then just out of sheer coincidence, Venus conjuncting Jupiter, the arguably the second best aspect of the year, third best aspect. I mean, it's there up there, the top 3, top 4. In that happens to be in May. Okay, May 23rd. Now, speaking of May 23rd, it is gonna be really, really big. I would circle those dates, May 23rd. Let me put up my calendar. I would circle that entire weekend in your calendar, because May 23rd, let me just tell you what's happening. It's not just Venus conjuncting Jupiter that day, okay? Um, it is also, we have a full moon in Sagittarius on May 23rd. And if you saw your year ahead forecast that I did for you, your 2024 forecast, you'll know I said this is my favorite full moon of the year. Okay. This is such an auspicious full moon. It's a Jupiter ruled full moon. First of all, and then you've got Jupiter conjuncting Venus. You have Jupiter sextiling Neptune this day. You have Venus sextiling Neptune this day, and you have Venus moving into Gemini this way. So this day, it is a loaded day. May 23rd is loaded. There's so many great things happening on that day. On that day. And then when you jump to the May 25th, just 2 days later, Jupiter officially moves into Gemini. And then you're definitely going to feel a big shift here. On that same day, Venus will trine Pluto. Hello. That's a lot. That's a lot of goodness. Venus trining Pluto. Oh my goodness. This is again in general for the collective, Venus trining Pluto, there is like money stuff here. Okay. There's money stuff here. Trines are very, very auspicious, very, very harmonious. Okay. And so this is again, and if you're not here for money, this is definitely like romance, intimacy, love, relationships, even, you know, a big sexual energy with Venus trining Pluto. If you're here for that, if you're here for that. But do you see how May 23rd to the 25th? I mean, it's just gangbusters. Like it's pretty enormous. It's a pretty enormous time. Um, and again, you're just going to start feeling these shifts. Mercury does leave shadow. I think that's on the 13th, May 13th. So even though Mercury's goes direct next week, which is amazing, it's still in shadow. So I don't really talk about Mercury in shadow because it's not, you could, it's just think of Mercury retrograde waning. Okay. And as it goes direct, so it still leaves like a little bit of a trail. But yeah, just from May forward, remember I said May is the best time to sign contracts, or we're literally moving into Gemini season. A lot of y'all are going to be signing new contracts, signing new things, like having important conversations, but also just being very social, networking as well. If you're not with like friends, or just like networking for business, like there's a lot that's going to start changing, start shifting for you. So it is a month to really look forward to. It's a month to really look forward to. Does anybody have any questions so far? Happy birthday, all Tauruses and future Geminis, and Geminis that are about to have their Jupiter move into their sign. Does anybody have Jupiter and Gemini in their chart? No? Okay. I have Jupiter in my chart. I have Jupiter and Gemini in my natal chart. So I'm going to be going through my Jupiter return. So I'm very, very excited about this. Very excited. It's got to be really, really interesting. Especially because it's just wow. I think that Geminis in general have been going through a lot. I mean, they were in their 12th house for a year. They're just like, what? Okay, so no question so far. Okay, let's keep going. So those are the biggest days to watch out for. Now, um, we also have a very, very interesting and very unique and very, very favorable new moon in Taurus. So you see the first half of the month, okay? Do you see that before we move into Gemini season, we're having all these powerful aspects that are still in Taurus following the Jupiter Uranus conjunction that happened yesterday. So when I say you're still gonna, there's still, I mean, it's like the momentum's still going, and then you're just gonna get these. It's like woo woo, and then conjunction, woo woo, conjunction, woo woo. It's gotta be you're definitely being moved into a different direction in your life. That's a little bit more at how like what you want. Now here's the thing about this new moon in Taurus. This is gonna happen on May 7th. And I want you to mark this in your calendar because this is not a typical new moon. Okay. Um, this, and with new moons, it's new cycles. Okay. So remember, your lives are changing, things are happening for y'all. And so this is just this new cycle that you're being set up on, and it is one that is enormously special. It is one where what makes it different from recent new moons that we've had is that this new moon in Taurus, where you're surrounded by all these conjunctions and amazing aspects, this new moon in Taurus, Venus will be in Taurus at the time, the sun will be in Taurus at the time, and Jupiter will be in Taurus at the time, as well as Uranus. So you see how you've got all these planets really just amplifying, charging up this new moon. Hello, this is even just the fact you have the two benefics here is insane. It's gonna be one to remember. This is definitely one that's setting you up for success. It's really, really, really gonna be a time where just expect exciting opportunities to come around this time. Now, remember, you always want to set intentions. You want to put your energy out there. You want to see what's happening with, your rising sign as well. And especially if you're Taurus rising, like this is going to be huge for you. Every Taurus is going to feel it though. Well, everyone's going to feel it. Everyone's going to feel this new moon. Okay. Uranus, is that one where Uranus has been in Taurus for a while, since 2018. So it's gonna leave. Interestingly enough, it's gonna leave Taurus next year after being there for forever. But just for a little bit, but then move back into Taurus and then officially move into Gemini. Okay, so you see how all these big shifts are moving into Gemini. Gemini, an air sign, Pluto, an Aquarius, an air sign. Everyone is going to feel this. You're going to feel a lot more mentally stimulated, a lot more like again, social, like thinking about your future, a lot of conversations about the future. But we're having this shift in a very more social side. Um, does anybody have any questions so far? So yeah, mark May 7th in your calendar too. Okay. Um, Again, there's just so many other things happening that I just want to surprise you with in your like I'm just gonna give you some of the bigger ones, but um okay. No questions? Why does that keep going off? Okay. Um, oh, I can do this. Let me turn that. All right. So, okay. The other thing that, well, anybody here for Mother's Day? You want to know what's going on for Mother's Day on May 12th? Well, I'll tell you. Mother's Day on May 12th, the moon will be at home in Cancer and Venus will be at home in Taurus. So, this is definitely going to be one incredibly amazing, just love all around. Very, it's a very it's gonna be nice. A lot of family energy. It's gonna be very, very nice. It's gonna be one of the best Mother's Days. And that's gonna be May 12th. But what I want you to also look out for is the day after on May 13th. Now, remember, we've been talking about all these, the amazing aspects. We have Venus conjuncting Jupiter, we have the Sun conjuncting Jupiter. May 13th, we have the Sun conjuncting Uranus. So do you see when I say yesterday, Jupiter conjuncting Uranus, it's like a thread. There's just so much happening, and it's just ripples. That if nothing like major happened yesterday, it's happening. It's happening throughout May. It's happening throughout May. And remember, Jupiter and Saturn are so harmonious right now, too. And Saturn it's that structure, that stability, a lot of that commitment energy, long-term energy. So it just I look at this month and I'm just like, wow, this is something that we've earned. This is something that we've earned. And it really will be a month where it really will be for many of y'all like an unforgettable month. Like things are happening this month. Things are happening in May. And it's like you are being pushed in a certain direction. Remember, after those bigger aspects, or sorry, like the eclipse season, like both of the eclipses, and with the North Node, the South Node. We also have, speaking of North Node, one thing that I didn't mention in anyone's readings, I was looking over my notes. Is like, oh, I didn't mention this. Mars will be conjuncting the North Node on May 19th. And so this is happening I mean, like the day after the sun conjuncting Jupiter. I mean, you're definitely going to feel that driving life force in you. Just, I need to do this. I need to do this. This is my destiny. A lot of y'all could be starting new things too this month. It is definitely like a month where a lot of y'all will be starting new things, new places in your lives, meeting a lot of new people. You're going to see that it's one of those months I want you to look back to and be like, oh, actually he was right. Like I met this new person. I met this new person. That's definitely going to be a thing. Okay. What else can I tell you that I don't want to I don't want to give away in your readings. Y'all, your readings are so long, but it was just surprising. It's not, it wasn't even surprising. It's just like, every sign so far has gotten just these. I mean, you will see my reactions when I do your spreads. I mean, you will see my reactions, but yeah, everyone's gonna have a lot of a lot to look forward to. Another thing that I forgot to mention, or well, I mean, I mentioned this in everybody's readings because it's what makes May unique, is that a lot of the aspects that I just told you, in addition to at least like five others, are they only happen once a year. They only happen once a year. And so, what are the chances that they all happen this year in May? I mean, when I say May is just this gift from the universe, it is, and they're all auspicious. Remember, one square. And that's just, again, that could just be like, your landlord saying, I want you to open your windows throughout winter, and you're just like, no. It's just like, there's just some intensity, or you just gotta be cool. You'd be like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I might get sick. And she'll be like, okay. And she'll what, just be cool. Be cool. What else is going on? Let's see. Hello, Carla. Carla, you are Taurus Sun, Gemini rising, Cancer moon. You have Jupiter in your fourth house. Good for you. You're gonna have some. Yeah, you're gonna have some changes. You're gonna have some changes. And it's really funny because Sally, you asked. I have Jupiter right on the line between fourth house of fourth and fifth house. What degree? Carla, I'm sorry, Carla. I know I'm like all over the place. Thank you, Mercury. Um, well, you have Jupiter in your fourth house. And so, well, you're blessed there in terms of home. You have like Jupiter just expands and it makes things feel good. It's a good, it's all about prosperity and like let me give you an example. For instance, me being an Aquarius, Jupiter and Taurus is my fourth house, right? And so, but Aquarius is my sun sign. You really want to like chart your rising, but it doesn't mean that. And I want to make this clear too. It's like I know that there's and I did a video if you want to know more about rising signs and sun signs or whatnot, and why you should read your rising, but um it's still relevant. So Jupiter and Taurus, me being an Aquarius, sun, right? It would mean that I have a lot of well, Aquarius risings mostly, but then all Aquarians still feel all that luck, expansion, like good changes and whatnot in their fourth house, in their domestic sector, home, family, children, significant other, parents, everything that has to do with the fourth house. And so with Jupiter there, you feel that. And so Jupiter, a lot of people move, okay? When they move into play, especially when they have Jupiter there. And when they move, it's usually because it's a bigger place. It's like their dream home. There could have been changes in family that inspire them to move into, maybe they, had a baby or whatnot, into a bigger place, and they're happier. So it's all these great changes that Jupiter brings in that respect. And so it's so funny because I there's someone that I run into on the street in my neighborhood who watches my videos, and she was saying like, well, I haven't moved yet. I'm like, well, it doesn't mean that every Aquarius in the world is going to move when Jupiter is in, their fourth house. It just means that you're going to feel blessed in that area. And so, but there's still going to be something related to home, home matters, domestic matters. And so every time Jupiter moved into Taurus, I moved, because Aquarius that's your fourth house. And so 12 years ago, 2012, I moved I actually left New York for a little bit. I moved to LA 12 years before that. I moved to New York. I'm 12 years before that. My family moved. I mean, so it has happened every 12 years where I personally have moved. A lot of people I know that are Aquarians have moved. This year, though, my focus was mostly on I'm like, my brother and I are looking to uh help my parents get a home. And so that's where all of that energy went. So I didn't move. And so I was also I'm looking to like possibly buy something. I don't know if I'm staying here. And do you know, so yes, there's still things that are happening in my domestic sector, but it doesn't mean that I'm, gonna move. It really just depends on like you've got to put everything together in your chart. It's not just that one aspect, but um it is also a year where this is a year that I have felt a lot closer to my family than I have in years past. I remember Jupiter is bringing that blessing and that you're in your fourth house. And so so that's an example. Okay. Oh gosh, well, okay, so let's does anybody um Sally, 2 degrees, then you'll start feeling but what I'd have to actually look at your chart. I'd have to look at your chart. um I mean, what sign? It would just mean that you may feel things a little bit earlier than most people. It's like your early degree. Um, Carla, you ask love, new or old love. I mean, yeah, that depends on you. Remember, the fourth house is home. If that's what you're looking for, I put your energy into that. I would put all your energy into that. And I know that I think there's a difference. And when I say, and here's going back to energy, there's a difference between wanting something and actively like really manifesting it and really putting your energy toward that. I know so many people in my life who were the types that they couldn't be single. And so they would all, and that was like their life mission, to just always be in a relationship. They could never be single, not even for a week. So they would even just start dating someone, even if they were, if they were like 50% in, until someone else came along. And it's just, that's where they were manifesting everything. They just wanted to be in a relationship. They wanted, to eventually get married and have kids, and they put so much energy in that, whereas it was like 20% into their career. And so, I always think it's good to have like a well-rounded, like, balance. But I know I'm going off on a tangent again, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's really manifesting it. And when I say really manifesting it, the reason why I say this, there is a huge difference. And I say this in some of your readings sometimes. Okay. So you can go through your phone, you can scroll through TikTok and Facebook or whatever it is, and you see those memes or those positive affirmations, and you like it, and you keep going, and you scroll, and you like, and you scroll. Well, there's a difference between like doing that and actually feeling it and believing it and wanting it, right? It's the same thing if you set intentions, if you, let's say you pray or set intentions, whatever you do, there's a difference between letting it cross your mind, thinking about it, speaking it, or thinking it, and really, really, really feeling it in your bones, like really experiencing exactly what you're saying. And that's what I'm talking about, energy. You have to hold on to that energy. It's got to make a really big difference. It's got to make a really, really big difference. Um, but yeah, okay, I'm getting really deep here. Um, what else is all right, so any other questions? I don't know if that answered your questions. Maha, you said you have a conference in Germany. I love Germany. I'm meeting a few important clients. Will I be successful with getting contacts from them? Well, if you go out and meet them, and yeah, then if you're putting your energy into it. But I wouldn't, it depends on when you do it. The way that May is set up for you, because you are a Taurus, oh my goodness, like I don't even know why you'd be as like, yes, of course. Like you've got to wait until your readings come out. I mean, you've got to see what's happening for you. You've got to see what's happening for you. Like this is just a bonkersly good month. Maha, you said May 14th to the 19th is, yeah. What's really interesting about that you just said May 14th to the 19th is um, Mercury moves into your sign on the 15th. Okay. So at that point, between May 15th to May 23rd, you've got Mercury, the Sun, Venus, and Jupiter all in your sign. I mean, all these planets that are just great benefic planets in your sign. I mean, yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say you got to take that action, but it seems like you are. You have important clients. You'll be, getting Yeah, of course, of course, of course. And Mercury moving into Taurus is so different from Mercury in Aries. And I know that it feels like Mercury has been in Aries for ages, and it has. Mercury's been in Aries for a really long time now. And so it's kind of nice. Mercury's not the best in Taurus either, but it's still, in general, like, because remember, Mercury is the ruling planet for Virgo, and Gemini. Okay. And so Mercury can't wait to get into Gemini, which is going to happen in the beginning of June. Mercury in Taurus is very like, again, very different from Mercury in Aries, where things have been like it. Mercury to Aries is like, remember, it's kind of like that, a little like, let's do it, gangbusters, go 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 energy. But then we had that slowdown with Mercury retrograde. um Now Mercury in Taurus is very practical, it's very logic oriented. It's like, okay, I'm gonna really think about this, and I've actually take notes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But yeah, Mercury and Taurus is definitely a lot more grounded. Okay. It is a time where it's when people, it's like Mercury Taurus is thinking very practically. Okay. We'll keep it that way. It's thinking very practically. And yeah, but it's just, there's such a buildup of planets in Taurus between your dates between. And so Mercury enters Taurus on the 15th, and then up until, like, the sun moves into Gemini, and then Venus moves into Gemini, then Jupiter moves into, so everything's leaving Taurus to go to Gemini. And so that's just such a drastic, like, Taurus and Gemini are so different. And so you're definitely going to feel a big shift in that way. I hope that makes sense, and I hope everyone's excited about that. Oh my goodness. Sunday morning, I'm just looking at I didn't even do my hair. Okay, Carla, absolutely a balance. I've been single for a long time. By the way, thank you for having Susan. Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, you just had an amazing reading with her. That's great. I'm so glad. I need to check in with her. It's so funny. It's been one of those months where it's just a lot of people that I know in like divination and what within this environment, it's just like I've really like we've all connected because it's just it was just one of those months. It's been one of those months, but again, it's you know, it really is one of the deepest Mercury retrogrades. And and it's and I believe one of the reasons why is because Mercury, remember, is retrograde in Aries, where the North Node is. We just came out of that eclipse in Aries. There was just, Aries is just like really boom, 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 boom. Um, and it's going to be it's gotta be really interesting when we get to June, when Mercury moves into Gemini with the Sun, Jupiter, and Venus. But one thing that I want you to know, the other thing about May, before I get to June, let's not talk about June yet. June is also very nice, but there's a couple squares, and they there's this one week where there's like 3 squares, but there's so many great aspects. So many great aspects in June. It's really nice too. But May, just remember in May that Mars will be remember, Mars is moving into Aries at the end of this month. So Mars is going to be in Aries all month long. Like when I say you're going to feel driven, you're going to feel driven. Mars is in its home sign. Venus is going to be moving into her home sign. I mean, everyone's going to be feeling a lot of not only inspired, but a lot of like, taking care of yourself as well. A lot of feeling ambitious too. But it's definitely going to be, again, May is going to be a month to remember. It's going to be a month to remember. And you could start feeling a lot of changes now. You could start feeling a lot of changes after, the aspects that we just had and moving into May. I mean, there's a lot that could still happen. A lot of it is, especially with the full moon in Scorpio that's coming up in, what is it, 2 days from now? It's on Tuesday. That one is going to be, again, very emotional. Full moons in Scorpio are already like a little emotional, but remember, I said there's three, there's a square with Pluto. And so it really is just a time to really take time out for yourself and really explore your emotions, really go deep, really have these insights and tap into your intuitive side, because that's really going to help. I mean, the full moon in Scorpio is going to be, and again, you could be feeling it now. You could be feeling it now. And it's really funny what I was telling you earlier about how I'm aware of something that I have to do, the direction that I have to go, where there's my logical mind is like, but wait until this, wait until this, wait until this, wait until this. And I feel like the full moon is, full moons illuminate, and it can just be even like a draining time. A lot of y'all could be feeling like a little bit like drained. You won't be when Mars moves into Aries. Mars is physical energy too. You're gonna be ready. You're gonna be ready. You'll run marathons. But it is this full moon. Just be ready to, explore your emotions. That's it. Just explore your emotions and really see things that you need to see around this time. And be aware of the things. Again, there is, such a big difference in terms of putting energy out there, uh, and really, really feeling it, and also just like wanting something, right? Hello, San. If you ever get to teach tarot, I'll be your first student. I love how you combine tarot with astrology. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. Oh, thanks so much. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, right now I'm still in, I've got my full-time job. Um, but yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'll let everybody know if that comes about. Does anybody have any questions about you want me to tell you one more thing? I'll tell you one more thing. Remember I said May 13th, so we're going back to Monday, May 13th, with the sun conjuncting Uranus. I just really love this. Venus will sextile Saturn that same day. And I love this day. I love May 13th. I really, really do. You could just start feeling a lot of progress around this time. You could start feeling Venus sextiling Saturn, by the way, is like that true love energy. It's like, "Ooh, I really feel this." And I'm, you know, even having this sense of security and value that you bring, value in relationships. Money matters as well because, we're talking about Venus here, creativity as well. But there is this enduring, long lasting energy with Venus sextiling Saturn. And it is, if you are, is anybody here thinking about starting a business or doing something new? Remember, I said I think that, with this new moon total solar eclipse in Aries and then North Node in Aries all year long, and all this energy that we feel in Aries now, especially Mars moving into Aries next month until June. I feel like there's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people maybe starting side hustles, doing something, right? But it is like Venus sextile Saturn, like really good time for business with, and again, there could be just something nice and new and unexpected with that sun conjuncting Uranus. And it really, again, it can be up here with you having this personal breakthrough. Okay. And that's the same thing as yesterday with Jupiter conjuncting Uranus. You could have had a personal breakthrough. It didn't need to be something that came about in your physical world. It could have been you. It could have been you and this burst of clarity that you had. Um, but it is a Venus sextiling Saturn. We're actually very fortunate to have it 3 times this year. The last time it happened was January 28th. I don't know if anybody remember that. Venus sextiling Saturn, January 27th, January 28th, my birthday, and then November 22nd. This year's the last time it's gonna happen. Steve Jobs had Venus sextile Saturn in his chart. So did Freud. Freud, yeah. Agatha Christie. Hmm. Agatha Christie had yeah, that's it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing there. But yeah, I want you to know there's possibly 7, 8, 9, 10. There's like 10 more aspects that are just amazing. But I just don't want to give everything away right now. Are there any dates that anybody wants me to say if it's going to be? I mean, they're all good. That's the thing. It's just that one Mercury square Pluto, but it could be just like a big like you having these big moments of deep thinking. So it's not even I look at it, I'm just like, no one's really gonna that's not gonna trip you up at all, the Mercury square Pluto. Um I am looking. Yeah, there's so many great days. I can't wait to tell you about it. Y'all are gonna it's gotta be a very interesting time when we move into Gemini season, that's for sure. And it's like perfect timing too, right? With the weather getting, nicer, well, in the northern hemisphere, and actually, well, everywhere. Um, like that social aspect. I think that you're just gonna feel it. You're just gonna feel it. Um, Carla, yes, you are working on a new business. Congratulations. Sally, you say not a new business, but entrepreneurial in that I moved into sales in January. Congratulations. I've struggled getting things off the ground, hoping May is the month. May is the month. May this is there's just so many aspects that are just so sweet, so nice. Um yeah, I just don't want to give it all away. There's just so many good ones. I gave you the ones that are the biggest though. The ones that are biggest that you should definitely have in your calendars and just, you know, definitely set intentions around May 7th. It's a new moon. You want to do that anyway. But again, with Venus, Uranus, the sun, Jupiter there, it is just so nice. It really is like it's like that gaggle of planets. It's like a boy band or a girl band. coming out with their next big hit song. It's really, I mean, with this coterie of planets, it's just so nice, that new moon. Carly, you said yesterday was more of a personal breakdown rather than a breakthrough. Well, breakdowns lead to breakthroughs, right? So it's good to have them. It's good to have them. You don't want to get stuck in that energy, but breakdowns do lead to breakthroughs. So I want you to think it that way. I wish I could do my chart. My old astrologer is out of commission. I'm so sorry. There's so many great ones out there, though. There's so many great ones out there. Oh, you said May 5th. Let me see. May 5th. Yeah, yeah, you're definitely gonna feel. What sign are you again, Carla? May 5th, by the way. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. Because remember I said on May, oh wait, did I tell you that one? Yeah. On May 6th, the sun sextiling Saturn. So remember, Jupiter and Saturn are very harmonious right now, too. Saturn is like on its best behavior. We love Saturn this month. Okay. Love Saturn this month. Oh, you're trying. Okay, that's right. Okay. Yeah, then yes, absolutely. Really great day because on Friday there's something that's happening that's really, really nice. On May 3rd. And it's another once a year aspect. So again, May just happens to have about 10 once a year aspects that just all fall in May, and good ones, and very like favorable aspects. Yeah, so just know, oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, so May 5th, it's coming after a very powerful aspect. But it's a sextile, so it's a very harmonious, like, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Jean, you asked what about May 5th, May 14th? Sorry, you're packing. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're moving. You're moving. Yeah, May 14th is just the day after the sun conjuncting Uranus and Venus exiling Saturn. It's I mean, that whole week, other than the Mercury square that's happening on the 17th, but that entire week, um, you may just, you might get some news that come out of nowhere. And it might be like really, really good to hear. It might be very, very nice for you because it's literally the day after the sun conjuncts Uranus. And remember, that's a powerful charge. So it's you feel the energy heighten that day, but you feel it for a while. You're gonna feel it for a while. Yeah. So yeah, sun, your Cancer, sun and rising. Wow. Yeah, y'all are gonna. I mean, May is just really honestly look forward to it. I know that we still have to, so it really is. We've got in 2 days, we have the full moon in Scorpio, and then just a few days after that, Mercury finally goes direct. And then Venus moves into Taurus, which is like I said in your readings, it is the best day of next week when Venus moves into Taurus, and then Mars moves into Aries. So you see all these, just aspects and placements and whatnot. Everything's just falling in formation for this amazingly auspicious month ahead. May is really great. May is really great. May, May. Okay, y'all. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining. I am look at my hair. I'm just it's like I just woke up. I need to get a haircut. I'm waiting until Mercury goes direct. That's the other thing you don't want to get. Well, okay, never. I know I'm rambling. I'm gonna y'all. Okay, so thank you so much for being members. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for being here. And y'all, I will drop your forecast as always on Wednesday. It is a loaded month. And again, I do talk, I try, I speed, I'm trying to like get there's just again, This took an hour. I didn't even get to talk about half of the aspects. Like it's a big month, okay? It's a big month, but one that you're gonna be very happy about. So thank you so much. I hope that you're having an amazing weekend. And I Cheryl, thank you. My hair is fine. Thank you so much. Oh, San, you're in Dubai. Oh my goodness. You're all the way across the world. That's so crazy. I love Dubai. I remember going there a long time ago, but okay, y'all. I gotta go take Ruby out. Thanks so much. I will and so I'll see you again for June, when I talk about June next month, okay, that's going to be a big month. That's going to be a really big month. And yeah, and then the weekly, and then yeah, and you're going to get your May forecast on Wednesday. Okay, y'all, thanks so much. I'm going to see y'all soon. All right, have a great weekend. All right, bye y'all.